So, welcome viewers to Career Pathshala, and today we will be concluding all about Salesforce and cloud computing. Today, again, a topic is very important for the IT students, for students making career in IT. Data science, we last 2 weeks we have covered mostly on IT subjects, and in coming weeks we will be moving out to different career opportunities. Thank you, viewers, for giving your tremendous support through the quiz participation, through the participation in terms of your presence by just commenting your university roll numbers. So, this is all we will be taking account for giving attractive prizes and opportunity to come on the show. And today, we very well know that data is playing a very important role everywhere. We have from last 2 weeks people talking about data, cloud, AI, and somewhere on the business front, how Salesforce and cloud can is already leaders into business and what could be the future in those perspective. So today we are fortunate to have with us two senior people from Persistent Systems, Chintak sir and Jay sir, who will be joining us in any moment from now. Also, I would be having one of the senior placement director from Jabalpur region. He will be joining. I think he has joined. Dr. Vivek Rajput sir, Professor Vivek Rajput sir from Shri Ram Group of Colleges Jabalpur. Welcome sir to Career Pathshala. एंड जबलपुर से हमको काफ़ी अच्छे इस बार रजिस्ट्रेशंस भी मिले हैं एंड इन अवर पास्ट project of startup pathshala also jabalpur was one of the key leaders in joining this, and I think I can hear get a lot of comments from your students. They're excited to see you. So welcome to career pathshala sir, and it's an honor to have you. Also we have now
Same.
I think Jay sir and Chintak sir joining in. So we welcome Jay sir and Chintak sir for joining in, and we thank you for the for coming up and giving time to Career Pathshala. We, on behalf of the students, the academic fraternity, and CII Young Indians, we welcome you, Chintak sir and Jay sir, for giving up time. And also we have Professor Vivek Rajput from Sri Ram Group of Colleges, Jabalpur, one of the leading college and a very seasoned placement head for more than 15 years of experience. And we welcome you again, Vivek sir, and Shikha, our student representative. So, a warm welcome to everyone. Before we start, we could like to have some comments from Vivek sir, and then we go to Shikha, and then probably I'll intervene, and then we'll have your comments. So, once again, welcome Jay sir and Chintak sir. Thanks for sparing time and coming up with this great initiative. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और नमस्कार. विवेक सर आपके comments.
Very warm welcome to both our delegates, along with the students that are there, and of course the anchor of this whole webinar, Mr. Anuj Gar. And it's a great opportunity for our students, especially students of MP region who don't have that much exposure to different technologies that are there. So it's a very good initiative taken by Anu sir, wherein our students from this region, also Mafasal region, also very in very good numbers, they are able to take the advantage of getting the knowledge that is there, that you can impart to them. And it's been a good initiative from both the end, from the company's point of view, and from Anu sir's point of view. And it's an honor to be a part of this journey. And I hope the students would definitely uh, get motivated, and they will definitely learn something by the end of this session. So again, I welcome both the delegates. Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
Shikha,
much.
your opening welcome and
So, Namaskar and a very good afternoon to all the viewers, and a very warm welcome to Mr. Jay and Chintak sir. We are very obliged to have you here. Migrating to cloud computing technologies is no easy task. So, let's So let's learn about the new technologies and the blazing technologies that are coming really very soon with both of you. We are very fortunate enough to have you here, sir. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Shikha. It was just a minute before I called you and you were here. So thank you so much for the last minute coming up. So welcome, Jay sir and Chintak sir. I have been knowing you from years. We have been with your visit to colleges, meeting you guys, and now you coming up with this very important topic of today. So before you start, I would like to just give a small introduction of the speakers. I take this opportunity to do myself. So Chintak sir is a head is heading Center of Excellence Salesforce practices at Persistent Systems, and he's also taking care of all the customer relationship, account farming, and continuous innovation ways to leverage Salesforce for fulfilling futuristic vision of customers. Sir has more than 16 years of experience in business development, in the engineering design, large program and delivery management across all geographies. He has more than 10 years of extensive Salesforce experience. So this is something which our viewers can take the best out of him for implementing the best practices in various systems. He's also heading software delivery, closely working with pre-sales and sales for bringing a change in ways how business operates through consultancy workshops and various software methodologies. Sir also ensures successful customer implementation with right attitude and expertise of the team. Sir has worked with various organizations in past, including IMC Global, HCL, Ranbaxy, PwC, persistent and again persistent. So in domains like corporate strategy, business development, business analyst, software delivery, and program management. So a huge experience and the change in the technology era of IT he has witnessed, and we are fortunate to have you, Chintak, coming up, sparing time for our students. Chintak believes that appropriate technical expertise with balanced aptitude brings transform changes to any key digital initiatives. So these are something which I could get and just read it for you. And we thank you again, Chintak, for joining in. We also have Jay sir from Persistent Systems again, and it was really nice, Jay, interacting with you. And Jay sir is a solution architect and is a professional with high qualified and highly certified and detail oriented Salesforce solution architect. He takes care of Salesforce training also and certification and skill enablement across Salesforce practices and persistence. So persistent systems has a very important niche domain in Salesforce, and a good amount of business is there, and so is responsible for making everyone who is into this ready for that business. So more than 2 decades of IT experience, uh, and in Salesforce, around a decade experience. Sir has also earned around 19 plus certifications and in Salesforce and 2 AWS certifications. So Sir is always committed to learning and remaining a lifetime student. That is a great quality Jay has. So it's like a career pathshala is equally yours, Jay. So we after completing his MCA from VJTI Mumbai, Jay has worked in various MNCs like Tech Mahindra, Capgemini, Araxis, and has delivered some of the high quality solutions to customers across the globe before he joined Persistent, and he has trained hundreds of employees across various geographies and helped them become multi-certified. So welcome again, Jay, in the show, and your experience and the type of exposure you guys have will definitely benefit the students, and in particularly in today's talk, anyone who wants to know about Salesforce on cloud and has a beginner, middle, or an experienced knowledge, it's my commitment that if you attend the entire show after this, you will be able to at least make a good thought process of how Salesforce works and how you can start your career with Salesforce. So this is a very important show, guys, and in this 1 hour, everything in we'll be covering, trying to cover everything in and around Salesforce. So be there, enjoy the entire show, and we are all set to start the journey. And with Chintak sir, your opening remarks, and then we come to Jay sir. Also, welcome again to Career Parshala. Your opening remarks, Chintak sir.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Anuj sir, Vivek sir, Shikha, complete LNCT group, and the entire fraternity from Career Pathshala at Backstage. Right. A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to all of you. So I'm feeling very privileged today, especially when we are live to talk with such a wider audience of student community. And the gathering basically arranged by Dr. Garg and LNCT group of institutions. Career Pathshala really touched me, right? And through sharing some of my experiences with you as part of the Young Indian Initiative. Thank you all of you who have joined, as well as joining to provide your precious time. We are trending live on YouTube and Facebook, and I'm sure you will be there to answer or ask any specific questions. We'll be able to answer throughout the sessions via chat. So please raise any specific questions on Facebook Live, on YouTube, on the comment box, and we'll try to answer as we move forward today. Okay? So we are going to cover blend of business and technical aspects of IT system, specifically using Salesforce as a cloud platform, and how a student can start thinking about making career not only in IT from a developer perspective, but also from multiple software rules perspective. And before I talk towards it, Jay, would you quickly like to introduce yourself and share your screen as well so we can get started?
Definitely. Thank you, Chintak, and thank you so much, Anuj sir, Dr. Anuj, Dr. Vivek, and Shikha for introducing us so well. It has really been a pleasure and privilege to address such a big audience. And we were also students once upon a time, and as sir said, I have committed to be a lifetime student. So we are all students. There is no guru here in this ecosystem. It's just fantastic. I can't wait to address you all, really. But I'll park my talk until my turn comes, and until then, Chintak, let me share my screen. So please tell me if you are able to see my screen.
Absolutely. We are able to see all the students, all the attendees, who are currently watching this particular presentation, watching us talking about Salesforce and, the kind of blazing the trail along with the Salesforce. Let me just tell you one thing. The PPT and the PowerPoint that we are sharing is merely just from the anchorship perspective. You will be able to see some of the things. The idea is in the live industry, what kind of material which generally gets shared, what kind of planning which generally we do as part of any of the Salesforce implementation, any of the cloud, any of the IT software life cycle that we run through. If you have any specific questions, again, please raise in the comment box. I would just like to say that somebody has rightly said, I would not like to say the more you know, the more you grow. Okay, with that particular thing, let me just give some specific background about myself. So see, I specifically always have that particular mantra in mind about learning. And Anuj sir and team are kind enough to portray me as a head of Center of Excellence at Persistent Salesforce Practice. But just to share you, quick details before taking up grabbing this particular role, I was always interested in the computer science since my 10th standard. I opted for computer engineering. I didn't want to end up only at the graduation level. So then I also ended up doing my MBA into IT as a major. And then I got a privilege to work with various organizations like HCL and Bexy PwC, multiple US-based organizations, and now of course Persistent from many years. Well, my wish is I always like to get involved into innovation, ideation, different kind of hackathons that we conduct, the execution of the projects which ultimately help customers. I manage multiple larger IT programs for various customers across the globe, especially in US, Australia, and Europe, and relating the technologies to best serve business purpose. So I would like to watch, the Shark Tanks in my free time, and of course, love to spend time with my family as my stress buster. Jay, if you can please move to next slide. Today's topic, right? Why it is important for all the students. I'm assuming that we have different kind of fraternity of students from engineering, from different kind of bachelor, whether it is mechanical, electronics, electrical, computer, IT. There are different kind of engineering. But if you talk about today's topic, right? If you see customer relationship management is CRM. It is going to be common across the industries, across the streams, no matter what you are learning, you are getting educated at this particular point of time. If you talk about CRM, which is a customer relationship management, previously, when I say previously, it's just before 20 years. And 20 years, the technology changes rapidly. Previously, we used to have only the operational view of the CRM. That means we used to have certain reports which we can get very easily in terms of, जो हिंदी में बोलते खाता, वो खाते में रिपोर्ट मिलता था कि these are the customers and these are my details of my customers, and everybody used to maintain that. Some of the CRM platforms like Microsoft Dynamics, SAP CRM, Zoho, and now Salesforce. So if you see the trend from being operational to being more analytical, that means now you are dealing with the data rather than only reports. Now you are actually dealing with the more intelligent data. And slowly from 2004 onwards, it has started going into more of the social CRM. You as the Generation Z, you can definitely map out that if there are any specific business issues, service issues, you immediately reach out to the platforms like Facebook and Twitter and the social. Now, it is very important for the enterprises and companies to map out that, and that's how the social CRM was born. When it's a time for the evolved CRM. When Salesforce came into picture, it came with all the combinations of the past learnings, and then that's how Salesforce came up. So just giving you one of the example of customer service, the current promotions which is going on today and tomorrow, today and yesterday, the Amazon sale is going on, right? In the Amazon days, your complete data as a customer, and think of a customer service maybe like Dell, Microsoft, companies which offer, they have consolidated the view of data and they can take quick action decisions. So if you purchase something on Amazon today, you will get the related purchases on your interest, based on your interest, and the personalized search. That's the power of CRM that we are talking about in today's world. And now the things which we are going to talk about will really make the world very small in terms of how many different kind of things those are happening with the CRM. So if you will see the complete CRM landscape, Jay, if you can please move to the next slide. There are hundreds and thousands of CRMs which are created in the world. Idea to showcase these slides, if you will just see, the most of the top 500 CRMs are over here. But the enterprises typically believe in taking the best ones in the market, which they can serve the customer better, and technically whatever that you can implement it out of the box. That means something which you already have as a ready-made kit, and now you want to apply your business logic rather than writing everything from the scratch. So your logins, your securities, everything is basically taken care by your generic CRM. In this particular case, we are going to talk about Salesforce, and then how you apply your business logics as well as different kind of workflows on top of Salesforce, which make your business prosper and richer, and you provide the best of the customer service as well as you enrich your sales for the business tremendously. Okay, Jay, if you can move to next slide. So if we come back to the last point, right, how the technology changes future. If I take an example of any business, including even agriculture, right, the technology is not playing the role. Probably not. Each and every business now, even including the agriculture, every business is going through the transformation journeys for technology, and we are lucky to visualize, right, all these particular stages. Maybe before 50 years, if you ask somebody, those kind of transformations were not in picture. Even before 20 years, those kind of transformations were not in picture. Now, how can you be part of it? Let me give you some glimpse as a student. How can you be part of it, and what kind of things that you should learn by yourself on internet? Jay, if you can please move to next slide. See, think of an IoT, right? These are the key terminologies that you have always think through. Now, if I talk about IoT and artificial intelligence into CRM world, that means I am now relating it to whatever technology that you are creating. Ultimately, it has to be solving the business problems. Technology without solving the business problem is mere technical coding, right? But when you start solving the business problem, so if you take example of IoT, take example of your Fitbit, your device that you are using, your smartphone, your smartwatches, all of this IoT based devices, these are nothing but they collect the data and put across in the single CRM systems. If I take example of artificial intelligence, see a lot of predictive engines which are working with CRM, right? So for example, you purchase a dining table, okay, and you purchase it from say Flipkart or Amazon. There are likelihood the changes that you will now look for, the dining mats or the tablecloths. AI basically gives that particular power to these platforms, which automatically recommends that this particular customer has the next predictive need, and that's how you start getting the related kind of searches and the related kind of suggestions from these sites. This is the power of AI, which we are talking about. Extremely important. You might have learned through the Turing machine, specifically with respect to the students who are there into third and fourth year. You might have gone through different kind of complex algorithms in AI. Ultimately, how it turns out, I'll just quickly cover how it turns out to the real life business problems when you talk about these terminologies. Jay, if you can please quick to next slides. Similarly, if you will see, there are some of the key terms that you will learn, you will hear in IT and the software world. RPA. What is RPA? Robotic Process Automation. This is automation which is step-by-step execution at a different kind of level. Right? Blockchain. Again, you can think of creating so many different kind of nodes, make your searches faster. With blockchain, one can always think of the only cryptocurrency kind of technology. Yes, cryptocurrency is a technology which is built on blockchain. It is much more than the cryptocurrency as well, which helps fundamentally into different kind of enterprises. Machine learning. This is basically training your own system with the past data. Right? So you can apply certain set of algorithms to replace the human mind and decisions. Basically, how to reduce the manual efforts and how your machine can be trained in a way your mind is trained. Similarly, voiceover. Think of the integrating it with your Alexa, your Google bots for the words. So think of a situation where you say, "Hey Alexa, what's the price of a specific configuration laptop that I want to buy?" Within the next few minutes, if you start getting the relevant offers and emails on your email, on your social media platform, related to that particular configuration machine that you are talking about and the accessories around it, think about how the world has actually helped to provide such kind of services to these particular enterprises. So answer is CRM. Specifically, I am part of Salesforce from past 10 years, and I advocate Salesforce pretty much, considering the fact that I have actually implemented it into various industries, various technologies. Jay, if you can please move to next slide. If I just quickly before giving back to Jay, focusing on some of the academics part from Salesforce perspective, if I relate this with as a student, if I relate it with the subjects which I learn, I always, when I used to learn engineering, I always used to learn, यार ये EDC क्यों पढ़ रहा हूँ मैं? What is electronic device circuit is going to do, or how microprocessor is going to help me? Come on, 9097 or 9098, how does it matter to me? Believe me, students, it matters to you a lot when you start relating your academics back with the real business problems. Your interests, the subjects that you are learning, the industries, when you will start working, you will be able to focus, you will be able to decide that, yes, whatever I am talking about today, it is basically going to be relevant in future. I'll cover a little more on, how can you relate this education, right, into real world and IT projects. And I will also make sure that, specifically when you talk about web services, API, networking concepts, you've learned through in your, networking book, right, that there are some specific integration which happen. When we go for a specific interview, when we talk with students, do you know what is web services? Do you know what is integration? The answer is, sir, we don't know. Believe me, you know the answer, you don't know the terminologies. If you know the terminologies, what are web services, what are API, what are integration, I'm pretty sure you will be able to. Many of the students whom we interact with, they basically create different kind of mobile applications on Android. They connect that particular mobile application with the backend of payment gateways, with the backend of Google Maps. What is this? This is nothing but the integration. You are actually using the application programming interface to connect with your specific mobile application. Similarly, when I talk about RPA, ML, IoT, what is this? RPA, robotic process automation, is based on the data structure and the DBMS concepts those we are working as of now. It is all about the data, as Anuj sir mentioned initially, right? If you talk about IoT, voiceovers, how these machines are interacting, it is nothing but you are interacting it with different kind of protocols over the microprocessors. Electronic device circuit subject that you are learning through, unless and until you know how the protocol works, you will not be able to do it. Similarly, today's algorithm with respect to your fuzzy logic, your pattern recognition, some of the decision trees, normalization forms, all of this are related to your market analysis. Think of the different industries, which I will talk about at the last of this particular session, how you can relate your absolute learning in your mechanical, in your electrical, electronics, BCA, BCom, into various kind of industries. How can I relate it to the hospitals? How can I relate it to my transportation industry, retail industries, finance industries? There are multiple industries, and I'll take one or two examples at the last, just to give you some of the glimpse of how the IT world actually works over here. And before that, let me, I definitely need, before you log out from this particular session, I definitely need a smile on your face that you have learned something different today. And you can proudly say that you know Salesforce, you know what world looks like, smaller to you, as well as you can literally relate to any different use case and applicability in real world. There is abundance of thinking which can be applied. So over to Jay. Let Jay cover, the Salesforce basics with respect to the blazing the cloud journey. My request to all of you, please listen to the Salesforce world and the CRM world. The kind of tips Jay is going to give merely are not going to be available on any of the YouTube or any of the professional videos. So please listen to that. But before that, I'd like to take a pause and I would like to ask any specific question, Anuj sir, if you have, or any of the questions that you might want us to answer, which are coming through chats.
So we got a question. Thank you for this opening and setting the context for Jay. So definitely Jay trains people once you get into the persistent, but now this is the opportunity for everyone to get directly from him, and I don't think anyone is going to lose this opportunity. So one question, interesting question we got from the chat is ki, what is basically a difference between CRM and ERP? So both are looks related, and uh, that question connected me, and I thought of just putting it to maybe Jay, and then what is CRP and how different it is from CRM, how different it is from ERP. So
Anuj sir, I must say your students are super intelligent, and this is a very good question. And this is very but natural question because it comes across that when we talk about CRM and ERP, what kind of difference we are talking about. See, CRM is basically the customer relationship management, as name says. But nowadays, as I said, it is evolved CRM where it is much more beyond the customer relationship management as well. So starting from the life cycle of how you sell any of your products and services, which is front ending, whether you are selling it through your interface through mobile, through any of the portals, any of the community, any of the medium via marketing, and now, once you sell, somebody becomes your customer, which comes in your platform as a customer. That this is my customer whom I have sold the products. Before even the customer, it's basically the kind of your prospect where you say that मुझे लगता है कि ये शायद मेरे से कुछ खरीदेगा या मेरी कंपनी के लिए कुछ हेल्पफुल होगा. That is your prospect. It becomes your customer. Now you have the complete view of that customer. So customer is the most important entity of the entire journey. Now once that particular person becomes a customer, how you treat that customer as a business to business or as a business to consumer, and how you provide the services to that particular customer. There are multiple systems which can get integrated. And now, if this particular small model is applied towards the larger enterprises, that becomes a CRM. While ERP, if I talk about it, is more of the background processes. So if, for example, I have a manufacturing industry, if I have a front end store where I'm selling something on online, my portal, I am partnered with many of the giants like Amazons and Flipkarts of the world. I'm selling something. I need a CRM to have that particular front end. But at the same time, when I am a manufacturer, I am creating something at the back end. What kind of raw materials which I am going to need? What kind of machineries which are working? What kind of schedules which are there to run the machines? All of this particular data has to be captured into ERP. So best of the enterprises is who can integrate the CRM and ERP in best of the manner. That gives the power of the complete end-to-end, the business service. Anuj sir, that's the answer specifically to the question.
thank you so much, sir. And anything, Jay, you want to add? And from here, we would also like to listen you. And at the end, sir, there'll be some lot of common questions we'll be taking at the end. And maybe Jay from here, how would like you to also take add something and take us to the further uh, journey of this.
Definitely, sir.
Yes, sir, we can hear
Definitely,
you.
sir. Can you hear me okay? Okay, great. So thank you so much, Chintak, for setting the great context, and I'm sure it will help us build further on our conversations today. So just to add to what Chintak said, so he has already covered it pretty well. But CRM and ERP, so both are different systems after all, and there is great connectivity offerings, set of offerings that is possible through Salesforce, through integrations. So it's not that you just need to work on ERP or just on CRM. In today's world, you are solving the bigger problem for the customer. So we are looking at an integrated world, and Salesforce is again super. So you can integrate any other system with Salesforce, or you can called out to any other system from Salesforce. So both my integrations are very much possible, and that actually solves a larger problem. So now coming to Salesforce basics, and Vivek sir already introduced me, Anuj sir and Shikha already introduced me, but just some fun facts about me is, first of all, I've been a mathematics lover. So students, as I said, I was a student, I am a student, I am going to be a student. So I did my BSc Mathematics. Maths is my first love. Okay, but having said that, I chose IT sheer for the dynamism it offers. So the kind of learning you have, the kind of constantly changing, as they say, change is the only constant, so it keeps you always on your toes, always learning new things. And you get tired at times, you find it overwhelming, and I'm sure that must be the state with all of you. I'm sure with respect to Salesforce and CRM, you might have thousands of questions, but let me cover certain things before we move to specific Q&A that you might have. So first thing is I will tell about my own story. Okay, so I lost my dad at a very early age. I was just 9 year old, and my mom supported us really well. So she took up a lot of challenges in life, a lot of hardship we have seen as individuals. My dad's family was extremely supportive, so that also helped a lot. It helped tremendously. So the only thing I knew, and my mom told me was, "Beta, jo bhi karo, अच्छे से करो. Choose what you like. I'm not saying doctor bano, engineer bano. Choose the field of your liking. Get deep into that." And that is what you see today in Three Idiots movie, right? So I chose mathematics. I loved it, and then I chose IT. I loved it too. Computers has been my sort of second love, I should say. But after having worked with a lot of MNCs for a couple of years, I was looking for a job change. शादी हो गया तो थोड़ा ये भी चाहिए salary. So I was looking for a job change, and that time I was stumped with limited offering in the area where I was living. I was living in Mumbai that time, and I was specialized in a particular set of technologies. Again, it was great learning from all my former companies, but then when I heard about Salesforce, so how Salesforce is different. So if you look at CRM, it is not really industry specific. That is what I want to impart to all of you. आपको अगर CRM आता है, customer relationship management. Okay, so one way of looking at it is all of you who are listening to us right now are our customers. Okay, and we are supposed to make you happy. Okay, they say it's a cutthroat competition. I hate that word. Cutthroat नहीं है, किसी का गला नहीं काटना है. But I should be able to give such a service that people feel like connecting to me. People feel like CRM सीखना है, जय के पास जाओ, चिंतक के पास जाओ. Salesforce सीखना है, go to Persistent. That is how we have to be at an individual level as well as at a company level. So that's in a nutshell about myself. So when I started exploring Salesforce, I started exploring CRM, and as Chintak rightly mentioned, Salesforce started as a CRM company. So just some facts about Salesforce. It was a company founded in 1999. You might be wondering, "Ye, why should I learn Salesforce? क्यों सीखूं मैं?" So थोड़ा सुनिए, and you will find it so good. So it started as a CRM company, customer relationship management. But today, Salesforce is evolved so drastically that they are saying we also do CRM. We do thousand other things, literally thousands. Okay. So we'll talk about that as we progress. So my bio, I already talked about it. So and idea is not to boast about ourselves at all, but idea is to let you know you are in safe hands listening to us. Okay. So I skip my bio altogether because Vivek sir and Anuj sir has already introduced me here. All right. So, what is Salesforce? That is what we start with. And why should I learn it? That's the number one question you all would have as students. ये मैं क्यों सीखूं? Okay. So, again, that reminds me of a funny story. I was telling my boss in my earlier company that, life is a race. Three Idiots का dialogue है. So he said, "Yes, Jay, life is a race. But if it is destined that life is a race, we are all going to be, having to run, then this is the technology worth running after." He was my CTO. So amazing words, and that really inspired me dramatically. I said, "Yeah, you are right, absolutely right. भागना ही है तो किसके पीछे भागना है वो आप decide कीजिए." Okay. So what is Salesforce and why should I learn it? Okay. So we will take a very structured and layered approach. And as Chintak said, this is not going to be having a lot of PPT. It's going to be having a lot of talk. Okay. and a lot of conversational aspects so that you can relate better to it. Okay, we don't want to overwhelm you with showing thousand things. We want to stick to 10 good things that you should be taking away out of this program or session. So first thing that Salesforce offers is infrastructure as a service. Now, what does that mean? So just assume कि मुझे 10 करोड़ की लॉटरी लगी है, ठीक है, hypothetically. Just on that note, on a lighter note, don't say crores in front of European customers. They have millions and billions. They don't know lakhs and crores. So it translates to $100 million. And I say, okay, let me start my own business now. I think I'm good at IT. Let me start my IT business. कहाँ से शुरू करें? Just think about that. You need to procure software, hardware, right? Data center you need to have. You need to have buildings where your folks will be working. You need to have employees. It's a huge investment, huge investment. Even for buying an email domain, you are spending. Okay, and the softwares keep upgrading, so you keep paying for those upgrades. So it's a Herculean task to maintain, and there are so many things that could fail. So what are the things that could fail? Think of an app that I have made using traditional technologies. Okay, and that app has gone hit. Both there are a lot of likes we are getting, and people are starting to download and use the app. So my servers are crashing because I never planned for that scale. I was expecting 500 signups per day, but now I'm getting 10,000 signups per day. So I'm running from pillar to post just to maintain the infrastructure. That is infrastructure as a service. So in specifically, it's about having not just one server but a lot of servers. If a server fails, it should result in transparent failure from one server to another without the client. Client is your device or customer application, not even knowing about it. How would you handle all this? What is the operating system you would select? What is the hardware you would select? Okay, and what about multiple customers contacting the server? How do you load balance the servers? So right now I'm talking and you are all listening to me because you know that I'm talking. But computers have to be taught. Okay, so there should not be some servers that are overwhelmed and some servers sitting idle. So these have been there have been a lot of traditional challenges. I have worked with a lot of infrastructure layers in my past. So having 21 years of IT experience. So yes, we have done it the hard way because things have been evolving. But when I looked at Salesforce offerings, I fell in love. What Salesforce says is simple: subscribe to us and leave everything to us, leave the burden to us. So I asked, really? Do you mean it? They say, yes, we mean it. Okay. So they will take care of your servers, they will take care of your operating systems, they will take care of database to the extent that you don't even know or you don't even care whether they are using Oracle as a database or PostgreSQL as a database. In fact, they use both. So it's just amazing. All you need is internet connectivity and your machine. Everything resides on the server, backups are taken care of. Everything is in the cloud. Now, when we say cloud, again, there are a lot of misconceptions about cloud. I might have a traditional application which I'm moving to, say, VMware, and I call it cloud pe chala gaya. Okay. I had one friend whose father came to know that I'm working with cloud computing. So he gave me a job. He said, मेरे office के बहुत सारे document है. Why don't you scan it and upload to Google Drive? That was his concept of cloud. Okay, so cloud is much beyond that, and we need to really broaden our horizons to understand that. So I hope this gives you a perspective as to what infrastructure as a service is all about. So they handle everything for you. All we need to pay is monthly recurring fee to Salesforce, and we get to enjoy all the services that it has to offer. And now let's look at what we get. Okay. So very fortunately, we don't have to deal much in this layer unless if you are interested to, get to that particular layer, infrastructure as a layer. But we can start with the next layer, which is called platform as a service. Now, platform again is a big terminology. It takes years to even perceive what a platform actually means. So we say platform banaya tha, framework banaya tha. It's not that simple, really. Okay, so when it comes to platform as a service, this should be our starting point. So I will talk in little detail about that platform as a service. And again, we have ensure that this is not just about Salesforce. So whatever you are listening to is going to help you in general in your IT industry. This is again not about Salesforce, though we both, Chintak and I, remain and will continue to remain big fans of Salesforce. All right, and the last one is software as a service. So how is it built? So I guess you get the idea now. Platform as a service is utilizing infrastructure as a service. So I will focus on developing my application without worrying about the infra there, because that is taken care magically by Salesforce completely. I don't have to worry at all. So I can focus on my business problems. Let me give you one very simple example. Net banking. Everyone, all of us must be using net banking or Google Pay, etc. Say I'm transferring 1,000 rupees to Chintak. What happens if my account is debited, but Chintak's account is not credited? So we are talking about transaction control, right? So either the transaction, you remember the asset property if you are a comp science student. So transaction should be fully committed or fully rolled back, correct? It cannot be an inconsistent state that 1,000 rupees is deducted and Chintak didn't get the credit. How do you ensure that? Believe me, friends, for 2 months we have had so much of brainstorming to implement transactions for one of our customers, one of our projects, way back around maybe 15, 17 years ago. But today, everything is taken care by the platform. So all I need to focus on is writing the logic. Debit from my account, credit to Chintak's account. That's it. 2 lines of code will do the trick. No worry about transactions. That is just one example of the platform as a service, the power of that. And on top of that, we have finally software as a service. Software as a service is where CRM comes, but I'm going to park my talk on CRM until next few minutes, because what I want you to understand is this particular big picture first. So please look at platform as a service now. Look at this building. What does it say? So there is some great concept by Salesforce that was introduced that is called multi-tenant architecture. What is multi-tenant? We all stay somewhere, right, in our societies. So are we the only people staying there? No. There are so many people. Okay. But all the people get the same electricity, same water, same clean water, and so on and so forth. So those are shared resources. Now just map it to Salesforce offering. What Salesforce says, subscribe to us. It's the same code base that will run for all of you. Traditionally, आपको customer को क्या कहना पड़ता है? Sorry, customer, your budget is less, so you won't get that quality product. We can't afford to give you that much quality. That is what we have to tell to the customer. Okay, but today, if it is a small customer or if it is a huge customer, both will get the same quality of service because it's the same code being run for all Salesforce customers. So I hope you are, getting this very massive planning and the vision the Salesforce folks had when they founded this company. Mark Benioff, Parker Harris, and so on and so forth. So I do have deep respect for all of them, the Salesforce founders. Okay.
So it's all about like the word sales force. So it's like you force your sales. So it's
Exactly, sir.
like for
Very
business.
well said, sir. So that is how it
So
started, as I said. So it was all about CRM and sales.
yes,
मतलब customer को sell करो, sell करो, sell करो. But then it evolved way beyond that. I mean, even
because
Mark Benioff had not imagined that it would scale to this. But
so in our last sessions, we were talking that technology brought a lot of businesses, but now it is business which is bringing new technologies. The demand, the need is bringing more to think in IT in different ways and coming as infrastructure,
very true.
platform, or software as services. And definitely, Salesforce will be the next a big change maker in business for everyone. It's not only for I think IT; it is equally for mechanical or product companies or even companies who are into pharmacy or medical. So Salesforce implementation will
Oh,
definitely increase
absolutely,
their
sir. Because
sales in different
regardless of
domains.
the kind of nature of business you are in, you are having your customers to serve. Whether you are selling shirts or you are selling cars, you are going to have your customers. So CRM is everywhere, practically everywhere. So
So
yeah,
and
very
to
well
that
said.
Yes, Chintak sir. Your comments.
We are going to take some of the examples, but for your institute, for example, even it's not only sales. For an institute, if I want to create a collaborative platform where all of my students can come at one place, they can see the different kind of course and curriculum through a single platform. That kind of community, if I can create, which I call it as a student community, and for the same students, if I might want to give them the different kind of career options. So career Pathshala is one of that, which is giving the different kind of career option. Can I build a portal which also has all of my 2 lakh students data? So career Pathshala has, total 2 lakh subscribers as of now. Can I have all of those 2 lakh subscribers data? Can I now start thinking of personalizing all of those particular as my customers? I'm talking students as my customers. Can I give them the right set of services so their career can be shaped in the right future? Right set of courses can be applied to the right set of interested students. So say for example, Shikha is there. If she puts some specific interest areas of her own in education, she automatically starts getting different kind of opportunities, the job opportunities, the placement opportunities related to her interest and her capabilities. That is the power of CRM that we are talking about. It connects entirely to any specific industry, be it education, government, healthcare, agriculture, anywhere.
Great,
And
sir.
that
So taking
is thanks
forward,
to the solid, solid thinking by the visionaries of Salesforce, who architected it in such a way that it can cater to a multitude of problems, solving a
सर
multitude of
एक्सेलेंस
problems.
एक्सीलेंस ही सरवाइव करता है, बाकी तो
Exactly,
मतलब
sir.
तो that is why there may be so many technologies and now so many thinkers came up with solutions, but Salesforce survived because that was the perfect.
Absolutely agreed.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Right. Thank you, sir. And as you rightly said, necessity is the mother of invention. So this is all evolved based on needs, and it's going to, it's continuously evolving. So now, if you please see the highlight around platform as a service, because as students you might be wondering kahan se shuru kare. So when I started my journey, I was overwhelmed with so many offerings. So I started watching some videos on CRM on YouTube, etc. That's what you must be doing as well. So my recommendation is not to move to CRM directly. First understand the platform as a service, then move to CRM. These are some golden advices that you will not get elsewhere generally, and this is coming from decades of experience really. So you can trust us on that. So platform as a service is what you begin with, and now let's move to that very quickly. Again, there are not a lot of slides, but these are some important slides. So start learning this, and you will be fine because this creates a base extremely well. So I'm not even referring to infrastructure as a service. That's already taken care of by Salesforce. Start with platform as a service, gradually move to software as a service. Let's look at both now. So what are the characteristics of Salesforce apps? First of all, so what kind of problems could it solve? Can I create a bicycle with Salesforce? No, right? Okay. So these are the two characteristics. One is data-centric application where you have a lot of data, good data, normalized data. So I'm not sure. So there are a lot of com science engineering students here, but for those who are from non-com science background, don't worry looking at this term normalized data. We simply mean there are tables that we store. Think of a bank account, your bank account. Okay, in the bank database there is a table, and in which there are a lot of records. So each of the bank customer will have one record. Okay. So that is, and then there are relationships. So like one customer can have multiple accounts. So customer is a different table and accounts is a different table. So when we design those tables to be able to store data, okay, that is what is data makes it a data centric application. And data security is one of the critical aspects. So I'm going to share a lot of confidential information as we go further. Keep watching. We'll talk about data security separately. But how elegantly Salesforce solves all this requirement is to be seen, really. And second aspect of the nature is collaborative. So let me take a simple example. So by collaborative, we mean business process automation. But if that sounds like Greek and Latin to you, let me take a simple example. Say we are like interviewing some of you, and we like some of the candidates. Okay. So say we are interviewing Shikha. Okay, and we say, okay, she's good. She should be a part of Persistent. Now, Chintak is the interviewer. Chintak should only be able to save, update her record, and set the status as selected. The status is one of the fields. And the moment Chintak does that, his job should get over. He should not need to call the HR manager and say, please extend an offer letter to Shikha or follow up on that. That is process automation. So a number of processes should kick in automatically and should do the job. For example, sending an email to the HR team saying so and so candidate has been selected, and please extend the offer letter. So create a calendar task maybe from 2 days from today. You have to send the offer letter and have follow up on that. So those are collaboration aspects. Okay. So again, you don't need to code for any of the things that I have talked about so far. That's the beauty, that's the power of the platform. It's all point and click. And you'll be surprised you can create such an application in literally 3 to 4 working days. Full-fledged data-centric collaborative applications without writing a single piece of code. That is what is exciting. And there is no CRM here. I have not even talked about CRM yet. This is any application which is of type data-centric. Once again, examples are ticket booking on IRCTC, or internet banking, or transferring amount, or loan processing. So these are all classic examples of data-centric applications. So sky is the limit, literally. All right, so we were talking about PaaS, and as I said, we'll focus on PaaS for the next few minutes. So again, if you look at this particular slide, I'm sure computer science students can relate to it, but say if you are a non-computer science student, then something like you have 7-layer protocol stack. Remember, OSI protocol stack. What are the layers? Physical, data link, network, transport, session, presentation, application. Similarly, in the IT industry, this is a very common terminology for all data-centric applications. So at the base, you have database tables, and that is what we call data model, or M, simply for model. Okay. Next is business logic. So we have some data stored. Again, let's think of the net banking fund transfer example. Okay. So in my net banking, there is a table, okay, that relates to my particular account, and there will be a business logic that will be executed when I'm trying to transfer funds to Centric. So that is where we write business logic. That is what is called as controller. So whenever you hear the term controller, you are writing programs, business logic program. But how do I interact with the system is using the view, user interface. Okay, so that is MVC architecture. Now, here is a question for all the students, all of you. Which of these would be most crucial when you are designing the data-centric application? What do you think? Is it UI, is it business logic, or is it data model? Anuj sir, are you getting any responses from students on this question?
We have a couple of questions, but we intend to take it later. But
Sure, sir.
as you talking about UI and UX, so lot of like I had one question that he loves creating some mobile applications in UI and UX. So do we have
Oh,
any similar thing which Salesforce is
great question,
offering?
sir.
So Salesforce UI UX any
Amazing question,
application,
sir.
and I will
I'll answer that in a couple of minutes.
try one more. There
So my
was,
question was, are you
yes,
getting
sir.
any answers to this question that I posed on the screen? Which of the layers is most important?
Yes, we are getting some comments.
Okay. All right. So guys, think of it yourself, and in the interest of time, I'll just move on. It's a data model. Okay. So if you think it is business logic or user interface, no, it is data model. And let me take a very simple
It's
example
user
of question.
interface. Some people writing user interface, and we are getting comments business logic. So it's a mix
We
of.
have got the right. We have got the right answer from Mitesh Pratap saying as a data
Great.
model, yes, and even Rupali.
Perfect. Okay. So let's demystify
It's
why it is
data
data
model.
model. Yeah. So let's demystify why it is so. Okay. This is critically important. This is again, guys, this is not Salesforce. This is for writing any application in any of the technologies, not necessarily Salesforce, but this is what we must be aware of, regardless of whether you choose to work with Salesforce or any other technology. So design this really well. Let's take a very simple example. Okay. I hope everyone likes boats. Okay, so we all like to sail. Okay, so here is a boat table. Okay, I'm talking about actual boats. Okay, so what are the attributes? So we are storing all the boats. Think of this is a car. If you are more okay with the car, but boat will have things like where is it located right now. So you can see the geolocation attribute, name of the boat, like it's my boat or Chintak's boat. There is a picture which is a URL and so on. Now say we want to add reviews for these boats. Okay, are you happy with this particular boat? Say this is a boat rental company. Okay, and you want to see the review for that boat. So where will you add the review fields? Now the million-dollar question is where should I add those review fields? Say I want to give a rating from 1 to 5. Okay. So if I add the review fields on the board table itself, it's a big problem because then one board can hold only one review. Okay, but we can have multiple reviews against a board. So that is how we start thinking of the database design. So we create a separate table called review, and we create a relationship between two tables. Now, I'm not going to get into the tables and relationships here. It's a primary key, foreign key for com science students and others. You don't Please don't worry about it at this stage, but you get the point. So one board can have many reviews. So create a separate table. Okay, like one college can have many students. So all of you will belong to the same college. Okay. Now this is where we design. If we do this incorrectly, then no amount of coding can really rectify the problem. Okay. No amount of user interface can rectify the problem. So this has to be done really right. So these are some tips. Get the database designed right, and you don't have to, worry about that when it comes to standard Salesforce offerings. Now, so that is about database design. Now, the beauty of this platform is it also gives you the flexibility to create UI based on that. Automatically, it creates a form for you, enter your board details. But what if you want a fantastic UI? So that's where I'm coming to your questions are on the UI UX. That is equally important. So look at the same board that we looked at in the earlier slide. And for simplicity, I'm bringing it again here on my screen. And look at how dry it used to look as a table and how great it looks with the UI. So if you look at the picture, that was a field on the table that is mapping to the actual picture that you can see on the user interface. If you look at geolocation, geolocation is nothing but a field, standard field, which will tell where the boat currently is. You can plot it on a Google map, or now there is a new offering called Salesforce Maps as well. Okay, and look at the review, for example. There was a rating from 1 to 5, 5 being the best. You have 5 stars here. So this is the kind of user interfaces you can create with respect to, using the Salesforce technologies, and you can make fantastic applications in almost no time. Okay, so a seasoned developer, I would say, will take 2 days, just 2 days, to create such an application end to end. That is a power. Earlier, we used to take months. Now it is weeks and days we are talking about. All right. So this is a coding example again. So I will skip that in the interest of time, but I'm just pausing it for a couple of seconds. So whenever you watch the recording again, you can see there is an example of bad code. I've put a lot of comments, and there is an example of good code as well. Okay, let me quickly talk about it. So in bad code, you are updating the reviews. Now the requirement was you have to update all reviews to 5-star ratings quickly. Can you do that easily, or you have to do it with each one record at a time? So you can write code for that. Very simple code, but it's a bad code. And here is an example of good code. I will intentionally skip that in the interest of time. Feel free to pause this video and try and understand, and feel free to ask us if there is any doubt later on through Anuj sir. Coming to data security, as I said, I was going to show you some very uh, confidential data. So that's what you see here. Okay, so you have my email address, Syntax email address, phone number, everything is available. Our date of birth, oh, salary as well. So of course it's a joke, but you get the point. we store a lot of confidential data in our systems. Okay, we can't be lax about it. We have to ensure data security. Believe me, friends, we have written a lot of code to ensure such data security using traditional technologies. With Salesforce, it's a breeze. Let's look at some of the examples very quickly. Number one, so there are 10,000 employees, say, like myself and Chintan, we are just two of them, right? We are the representatives. Should every employee be able to access every employee's record? What do you think? Yes or no? So answer is clearly no. Not everyone requires access to every other employee. Next question: which fields are sensitive out of these? Chintak, we are looking like newborn babies here. If you look at the date of birth, which fields are
Happy to
sensitive?
be.
It's all correct. That reminds me of a share my friend had said. If you allow me to, मेरे दिल के
Yes.
किसी कोने में छोटा सा एक बच्चा बड़ों की दुनिया देखकर बड़ा होने से डरता है.
क्या बात
So
है.
बच्चा ही रहना अच्छा है. Okay. Which fields are sensitive? All. Which fields are super sensitive? Probably salary and date of birth, obviously. Correct. So let's ask the next set of questions. Should finance manager be able to see my salary? What do you think? Yes, of course. Otherwise, he or she can't pay me now if they don't know the figure. Okay. But can they change my salary? The answer
No.
is no. They are not authorized to. Only maybe the chief human resource officer can change it. So are you looking at the granularity? That's such a fine granularity. We are talking about cell, CELL, cell level granularity, cell level access. Who should be able to see, who should be able to edit, who should not be able to do even see it. Does it require a lot of programming? So this is all, my friends, zero programming. You don't need to code even a single line for all the scenarios that we talked about. It's so powerful. It's so easy, so interesting to configure. Okay, let's continue the story. This is the last slide on security. So you're saying, really, no programming? You must be joking. No, we are not joking. You need to program for more complex scenarios, but these are simple scenarios in Salesforce world, Salesforce ecosystem. Seems to be too much to do? Not really. Think of the impact otherwise. It's okay for the customer to say, hey, my CEO cannot see the salary. Can you please help? But it's not okay for the customer to say, hey, every employee is seeing every employee's salary. What have you done? It's a disaster. Believe me, friends, I have witnessed some folks who had to lose their jobs because they were not, giving enough attention to the security aspects. So they accidentally leaked the data. Their intentions were right. Still, they had to lose the jobs. So please be very careful about this, not just in Salesforce, in the IT industry in general. Is there any golden rule? You will ask. Yes. When in doubt, strike it out. This is the golden slogan I want you all to take away with you. Okay. So what I mean is, when you are not sure whether you should give access to somebody or not, do not give it. Open up later as the requirements evolve. पहले से सब खोल के मत दीजिए, सब बंद रखिए, धीरे धीरे खोलिए. All right, so that's about platform as a service that we were just talking about, and this is just a recap as to what we just covered. And to answer Sir's question, luckily I had this slide in place, sir. So when you say mobile applications develop karna hai, it's a new paradigm shift. Not really new now, but there is something called a single page application. Think of your net banking like HDFC Bank, Axis Bank, anything. You remain on the same page, right? That is called single page application in short. But there is a lot of things that happen on your mobile device, because today's mobile devices are not dumb. They are very smart. They have a lot of processing power. तो जो हमने MVC की बात की थी, model, business logic, and user interface. Now, business logic itself running at two different places. I hope you're getting that. So you write client-side business logic for your mobile device. So that will be typically, a code like JavaScript code that will run, and you have server-side logic as well being executed on the server. Okay, so Salesforce very much, encourages all this development. There is a latest thing called Lightning Web Components, and at this juncture, I would like to advise everyone to really, start learning JavaScript. It's it's an indispensable skill to have in the market. Okay. So we just talked about this data-centric apps, and now we are moving to collaborative apps. So I've taken a very simple example. I already talked about it. Say Chintak saves Shikha's record, a lot of things should fire automatically. So here is a simple example I have taken. This is what we can build with clicks. There is no code that is required. So the request is simple. The flow is simple. Intentionally, we have kept it simple. I am say having to do a business trip. So all I need to do is create a record called trip request. Okay, and once I do that, a lot of things should happen automatically. Okay, it should create a travel request record. It should submit it for my manager's approval, and so on and so forth. Okay, so all this we can configure and enjoy the process being fired in the backend. We don't have to worry about manually chasing at every step of the journey. And this is so scalable. This applies not just to CRM but everywhere. Now I'm coming to CRM basics. And again, we'll go very fast because idea is not to teach you what CRM is. CRM in short is customer relationship management. So there are some key terminologies. We have kept it to bare minimum. First is lead. So as Chintak mentioned, somebody who may be interested in doing business with me is my lead, not yet my customer. Okay. Then I proceed ahead. Okay. I have lot of
Before we
yes, sir.
uh, so some hands-on experience if we want to know on Salesforce. So to learning Salesforce, can I get something for doing hands-on? Like if students really want to learn this Salesforce before we go deeper into CRM.
Definitely,
So
sir. Great
some
question.
hands-on.
Yeah. So I would ask you all to, just bookmark this URL called trailhead.salesforce.com, which I'm showing on my screen right now. It is trailhead.salesforce.com. Okay. This is something amazing, So Salesforce training material is world class. And as you rightly said, sir, you need hands-on. You can't be a pianist by just listening to some pianist, right? As to how to play piano. You need a piano
So
to
it
actually
is trailhead.
trailhead.salesforce.com. Want me
Okay.
to type it quickly? So you can sign up for free. You can open your Salesforce accounts for free from here, and you can start learning and you can explore, start exploring.
So I
So I
for
hope you are
viewers I
able
have
to.
written at the bottom trailhead. I've written at the bottom, sir. Screen.
Perfect. Sir. Yeah. Great question. Yes. So you can learn everything, and this is how we all learned by signing up for this. So this is again a great community offering from Salesforce because you don't have to pay anything. You can just sign up and start learning. Okay. And there is another URL I will share with you separately, sir, if you want to get deeper. So maybe after this, or
Sure,
let me
sir.
give you right away. It's developer.salesforce.com. You can create something called as developer edition account here. So you can explore both of these. Again, I'm typing here developer.salesforce.com. These are the two sites that will have you covered for it. And sir, I'm also pasting it on the chat window. Maybe you can broadcast it to everybody.
Yes.
So here is where you can learn your piano for free. Let me quickly go back to the PPT. Right. And now here is where I would convert my lead after doing a lot of further negotiations with the lead to a customer. And this is where I create separate different objects. But I'll not bother you with all of this at this juncture. Let's quickly move on because again the idea is to give you a big picture here. Okay. So CRM is customer relationship management. Let's look at this particular example just to give you an idea. We'll not talk about different tables and their relationship. Let's look at this digital customer engagement. So today's customers should be able to contact you if they have purchased, say, you have purchased some laptops from a company. Okay. Now, say you have purchased from Dell, and Dell is a Salesforce customer. Assume that. Okay. So customers should be able to raise the issues from various channels. They should be able to SMS. They should be able to just pick up the phone and call the call center through social channels and so on and so forth. The power of Salesforce is, regardless of the channel from where you raise your issue, this will be the consolidated view the support team will get. So that is called as a case in Salesforce terminology. Okay, any issue that is raised by a customer or any query. Now, if you look at this particular case on the left-hand side, it talks about cracked solar panel. So it's some solar panel that is cracked. Okay, and you can also see who has raised this case. That's a contact. Contact is your esteemed customer. So you get that view of the customer. Okay, and not just one case, you are working on multiple cases. So if you look at right hand side, it shows all the open cases that you have. I hope that makes sense. So this is the kind of solution or complete solution that Salesforce offers. This is a classic use case of something called a CTI, computer telephony integration. Okay, so where you can even dial the phone using something called a soft phone from your browser. You don't have to actually pick up the phone. Okay, you can even receive the call. You must have dialed Just Dial, right? All of you, or services like that. Say Shikha calls Just Dial. Hello, Miss Shikha, how can you help you? How does Just Dial know it's Shikha? That is through computer telephone integration. So Shikha's number stored in Just Dial database will be matched with the Salesforce database, assuming they are using Salesforce. And when the match is found, that contact record will be picked up and it will pop up on the screen of the customer service representative. So this is some power, and it all finally maps to something called as Customer 360 platform. So Customer 360 is about getting 360-degree view of the customer, okay, and giving 360-degree service to the customer as well. Okay, so you cover your customer from all the sides. They feel protected. They feel good. Okay, working with you. They feel covered at every stage of their journey with us. So look at some of the things. First is sales. So we are trying to make sales. You are trying to sell your products and services to the customer, but the story doesn't stop there. Once they purchase the product, they might have some issues. That is where we look at service. Now, these are nothing but clouds. So we call it sales cloud, service cloud. We don't need to be scared at those terminologies. It's all really commonsensical. This is CRM. This is customer relationship management. Look at marketing. Okay. So for example, if the customer visits a store, say I'm Apple, and customer visits a visits a place that is near my store, I should be able to catch that customer is visiting, Chintak talked about IoT. And customer should get an offer there. We are happy to see you in vicinity. Why don't you visit our store and take 15% discount on our product? That is your marketing journey. So there are a lot of products Salesforce offers. It's not just, once again, not just CRM, all aspects of CRM as well as beyond any data-centric and collaborative app. So I talked a lot, really, and I will like to stop here and know if there are any questions. I really hope this helped you, but before, I would also like to pass on to Chintak to talk about the persistent Salesforce practice specifically. Any questions, sir?
So we'll take maybe after Chintak talks about persistent Salesforce strategy.
Okay, awesome. I guess, Jay, that was very insightful, definitely, and you gave multiple real-life examples. Let me just put a couple of more examples from, Persistent as a company. I'm pretty sure all the students, who are, again, aspiring to join any of the company, if you would join Persistent, of course, it would be privilege for us to working with you. But then even if you are, joining any of the industry, you should know some of the things which are happening. As a student, when I was a student, I always wanted such kind of terminologies, such kind of experiences sharing, which happened. Unfortunately, at that particular point of time, YouTube and Facebook was not live, and I could not gain such kind of experiences. Today, maybe, with Dr. Anuj Garg's help, as well as LN City and Career Pathshala arranging this kind of sessions, please try to leverage those particular terminologies, which will be helpful for you in your interview sessions with different kind of companies as well. Jay, if you can just share the slides, I will just try to give you, some glimpse of, how one company can project the technical powerhouse, specifically from, the IT products and the services perspective. If you see Persistent as a company, we are more than 10,000 employees globally. working into different geographies, specifically into US, Australia, Europe, and India. From Salesforce perspective, we are more than 1,000 people working on a different kind of real life projects. And the beauty of working into Salesforce, I'll just mention in a couple of next slides. Jay, if you can please move over. So as an engineer, right, or a computer enthusiast, whether I'm part of again any of the branches which I talked about, I always think of what all can be the possible using Salesforce. So Jai covered some part of customer 360. We can experience under one umbrella. We can create different kind of portals. We can create partner and we can create customer communities. If I'm a company selling certain kind of goods and services, or even providing health services, which is again as a hospital, my partners are my suppliers, right? So I want to see from where I'm getting material, my supply chain, my financials with those partners. Customers are something like end users, where I would like to see their interest. You can create your own specific apps which can provide customer services. Anybody can go, anybody can register over there. I can view the data. As a student, as a kind of technical or a computer enthusiast, you should believe that you can create apps of your choice, which I mentioned some of the URLs: trailhead.salesforce.com as well as developer.salesforce.com. You create apps of your choice on this platform. You publish them on App Exchange, which is specifically a platform just like a Play Store or App Store, where you can publish your apps, multiple apps. And from Salesforce perspective, I would like to plant this particular entrepreneurship idea in your mind. So if you have some specific idea with respect to any of the business challenges that you do, Salesforce is the right choice for you, and Salesforce is the right platform for you. Let me give you very quick glimpse, Jeff. You can move to next slides with respect to how different touch points, which are covered in any of the industries we have been talking about, right? Every business which is supported by other partners and customers both, be it airline, healthcare, financial services, retail, agricultural, even government processes, right? Some of them need unique CRM processes. So here, Mark Benioff is owner and chairman of Salesforce. He has a dream to take Salesforce to fastest $20 billion company by 2022. This is a company which has beaten their own targets. Okay, they have actually changed the world. If you see, this company is impacting the world and making it a better place to live. Just as an additional point, Salesforce is #1 innovative company in the entire world, declared by Forbes ranking from past continuous 4 years. You can go and Google it out. These are the different touch points which I have mentioned into healthcare and financial industry specifically. If I take a deep dive example of healthcare, because that will be very much related to this particular COVID situation in the lockdown, you might have already thought through that how can the healthcare services can be bettered for any individual. So if you will see in the next slide, the healthcare perspective of things, right? See this example. How can we make the thinking easy and start joining the dots of implementation? As a patient in the hospital to my doctor appointment, I can take my treatment. Finally, I can take the prescription and the follow-ups. The complete hospital life cycle is charted now, as well as each and every stage and process where system can play essential part. How can I market my drugs? How can I reach out to my patients? How can my doctors consult other doctors? Store my records as a patient. Finally, how can IT help me for absolutely fantastic care? For example, think of an IoT-based injection, okay, which reminds me when one should take injection with an alarm, as well as give you a direction of how much dosage one should take. If you fail to take the dosage, your data gets recorded on runtime and prepare automatic report, which is then sent out to your doctor. Think of that as a product which is completely IT-based, and your records in CRM is stored. Think of a very naive example of retail, where as a company you can create an automatic cooking recipe machine. Okay? So where you think that if I on my mobile app, if I just instruct my app to prepare maybe dal chawal at 7 p.m. in the evening, and my machine reads it, it maps my activity that when I start from office at 6:30 and reaches at 7, automatically my recipe would have started in my machine at 6:30, and when I reach home, my food is ready. Think of this world. Okay, idea to give you this particular brief perspective is the examples which are actually going to be part of your real life. These are the actual projects which I have worked through, and these are not just some of the fantasy examples. These are the actual projects which I have worked through in Salesforce for my own customer. And just wanted to give you the world is changing very fast, and we all have to be adaptive enough. With one of my last slide, Jay, if you can move, to just give you the glimpse of inspiration, to join any of the IT company, and how the complete team, which work as a software team with different kind of roles, and how we put the whole implementation, which you see very, very easily executable on your mobile, on your laptops, on your computers. See, specifically behind it, there is definitely the whole program management approach. So if we go through any of the global team collaboration, we need to plan certain risk, which can be financial, technical, anything, but we definitely need to proactively plan to mitigate or reduce those risks. If at all that happens, we are ready with something. We need to balance the proper resources of the project. It's not always a coder or a developer which comes and develop the things. You have to have a business analyst, you have to have a consultant, you have to have a thinker who thinks of that application. You have to have a tester who tests the application which is created by a developer. You have to have a manager who manages the whole project and see that timelines and the expectations of a customers are met. Guys, this is very important that once you are going to go into corporate world, again, any of the industries, you are going to work on the mission as well as life critical applications for sure. We need to ensure innovation, communication, knowledge sharing, which continuously happen with such kind of holistic approach. All these factors while running any IT program and the digital initiatives are helpful. And Salesforce being a technology, out of the box features definitely help us maintaining some of these cycles. So I just wanted to highlight that. With that, would like to just very quickly show you a video from Salesforce Einstein. Salesforce Einstein is a name specifically for a Salesforce platform, which is AI and ML ready. Artificial intelligence platform is called Salesforce Einstein. Look at the video and just, in a couple of minutes, see what future is coming and are you ready for that particular future. Jay, if you can just play the video for all.
Sure. It's just a 2-minute video, guys. So enjoy the video.
Do better leads based on data predictions of who's more likely to convert.
And Einstein for services.
Yeah, Jay, if you can maximize, please. Yeah.
Sure. Can you see it okay?
Yes.
Absolutely.
These are the people who run your business. They're behind the scenes doing all the things to help it grow.
It's a deal.
Happy to help. Let's build some apps. Often working too hard. Just to keep up. But with Salesforce Einstein, they can stay one step ahead.
That's because Salesforce Einstein is your personal data scientist, making you smarter and more predictive with artificial intelligence to better connect with customers.
Show them, Einstein.
What? Welcome to the world of Salesforce Einstein.
Is that a flock of cupcakes?
No, this whole world is your own visualization of data. Those are actually customer engagement of marketing materials, often just top-lead predictions for sales teams. Over there are predictions of which deals are likely to close, forecast predictions for this quarter's business, and those little guys are product recommendations based on customer behavior. Look at me. They're headed off to an e-commerce site. See, all data is collected and connected within Salesforce, so all departments work together, seamlessly sharing data to help each other succeed.
Rob? Cheryl?
This is awesome. Einstein for Sales can help me pursue better leads based on data predictions of who's more likely to convert.
And Einstein for Service is a total lifesaver. I have chatbots answering all the easy service issues, so I can focus on higher priority cases. I can even identify cross-sell opportunities for Cheryl.
Magic. What magic? Automated machine learning. See for yourself.
IT can use automated predictions to improve workflows and business processes, which, thanks to Einstein, are so intelligent they automatically adjust based on incoming data, even third-party data, to better engage with customers.
And all of the data is crystal clear with Einstein Analytics.
So everyone has the visibility and key data insights to grow their business faster than ever thought imaginable.
What?
Salesforce Einstein. It's AI for CRM. Blaze your trail with Salesforce.
So hope everyone would have liked this, and this is available on YouTube. You can just go and watch. We just happen to have this particular video in the morning and thought of sharing with all of you. There are many such videos, of course, available on YouTube. These are the specific ones. Please take the learnings ahead And Jai, if you can, maybe just showcase some pulse of wisdom from our side, and then we would be open for the questions, looking at the time as well. If you can just maybe project those.
Definitely.
So for all the student communities who are live, who are going to be live, who are going to attend this particular or listen to this particular sessions, please mark some of the words as part of the wisdom which are already written from us. First and
So
foremost,
this is very important, and this is a very जो साल होता है, जो लास्ट होता है, एंड मैं इसको आप लोग का आशीर्वाद कहूँगा. So students should take this best, and lot of students, if for their classes, if they're leaving, can come back and also review this, and definitely know better than Jay sir, our can give this pearls of wisdom. Jay sir, all yours.
Thank you, sir. So as Deepak mentioned, this is already projected on the screen. So there is not much we want to really talk about, considering in particularly, considering the paucity of time. But yeah, there is no shortcut to success. So start with getting your basics right is the thing that we would like to highlight. Start with the basics. Ask stupid questions. There are no stupid questions. So ask, clear your doubts. Get your foundation so strong that you can scale to any heights. So that is our, that's a key takeaway we want you all to part with. And coming to the next set of points, this is our last slide. So do target technology certifications, industry certifications. For example, Salesforce itself offers more than 30 different certifications. This is not to overwhelm you. This is just to let you know there is so much of vastness with respect to learning anything. But if you start with the basics, make your way through the top, it's not a difficult journey. It is easy. Okay, so run after knowledge, don't run after certs. Certs will come to you naturally. I didn't prepare for a lot of my certs. It just came to me because I had the knowledge, I had the experience. Okay. We are in a really complex world today, so we do understand a lot of your concerns. It's okay to be overwhelmed. Take it easy, keep doing your bit. At this juncture, we would also like to, request you to do, if you have liked this session, do something good for your friends, your colleagues, any people in need. Pass on the good deeds to others. And the last advice from us, which is not even written here, is this: technology is a double-edged sword. So we can use it for good of mankind as well as all the creatures around, and it can also be used for disastrous purposes. So मैं हाथ जोड़ के आप सबको विनती करता हूँ कि please use it well, use it for the good of the society. Please don't indulge in any detrimental things. Thank you so much.
so with that, we would like to take any of the questions those you have or student community might have. We would be happy to
Sir,
answer. I know
we
we are
we
almost on the
we
top of the hour.
yes, sir. So we are actually out of time, but Shikha has capitalized some one or two questions. Shikha, if you
Sure.
can just, we'll take a couple of them, and before we leave.
Yes, sir. So first of all, you have already took all the point of interest that I wanted to ask. And first of all, sir, you just told about the certification courses. So where should we get them? I mean, what are the maybe sites or some sort of things? And sir, at last, how can I
Yeah,
make my career in Salesforce?
Sure, Jay.
brilliant.
I
Also
guess
to
you.
add, like, sir, when people students go online, so there's a inside this Google is filled up with so many links. If
Absolutely.
I start searching on Salesforce, I land up with so many ads and sites which then lead us to payments and maybe not proper information. So if you can guide us some good online resources, and
Definitely.
maybe
So, Shika,
how she this
sure.
is that, yes, sir.
Yeah, sure, sir. So, Shika, this is the thing again. Trainer.salesforce.com will have you covered for your learning journey. So, if you go to credentials and you go to certification, now this is the official Salesforce certification site. It's just amazing. Okay. And you can see various roles, like you can see the consultant role, architect role, developer role. So based on your role, your profile, feel free to explore this. Now, coming to the training material, there is a lot of official training material given for everything. Suppose that somebody is a developer, and wants to take the developer certification of Salesforce, that is called Platform Developer 1, you can look at this particular thing. So there is an official trail mix given here, sir. Now, trail mix is nothing but a mix of the relevant modules that will help you become certified. And this is Salesforce official, Salesforce authentic. Okay, so this is the first thing that we would like you all to explore. So if you look at this particular trail, it's a 67-hour trail. And if you look at this, then there are short modules. So those are the baby steps that will lead you to achieving your service. And feel free to reach out to us through Anuj sir at any point in your journey if you are confused. So we'll be happy to provide further guidance. But this
Just as
should
one
be
additional tip over
sure.
here, apart from the trailhead, which Jay mentions, right? Shikha, to your question, the certifications. Another link which was mentioned was developer.salesforce.com. Now, this is again a very crucial link where you can create your own instance. When I say instance, it's a cloud instance that you can create. And now start thinking of trailhead. Trailhead is nothing but the gamification of learning. So you learn through trailhead and you create your application into developer.salesforce.com, which is a cloud box specifically created only for you. And now you can learn hands-on, which is absolutely free, out of the box from Salesforce perspective. Start gaining those certification, those learnings, which is definitely going to be helpful irrespective of whatever technologies you guys are going to work in future.
Absolutely correct. Perfect, Chintan.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't explicitly mention that because today training module requires you to sign up automatically when you reach
Absolutely.
to that.
And this
So
generation is smart enough, Jay, to register at any point of time, register in a few clicks on mobile and operate it through mobile. So everything is
that,
available on the click, and that's well connected with social medias as well. Whatever badges that you earn even through Trailhead, you can put those particular badges on your LinkedIn, on your Facebook profiles as well. That is more important to share your knowledge and wisdom with the world as well.
A very important message Chintak has given that the moment you get certified, post on LinkedIn, and the platform has that opportunity to just click and post. So your LinkedIn profile, your social profiles on the internet is also being looked by recruiters. Not today, even after 10 years. What type of things you are following, what type of posts you are doing. So definitely, whatever you do online has a fingerprint, and cyber experts and technologies which is coming, they can take you anytime. So an awesome session, and though it's our career pathshala is a 1 hour program, but having speakers like this, and covering Salesforce from scratch to everything, anyone, in fact me from electronics background, could get a lot about infrastructure as a platform, and the service as a platform, and the other thing. So that was a very keen, interesting thing which I learned today. So thank you so much, Jay and Chintak, for giving time to our viewers. It was really a great learning from the sessions, and the viewers will definitely be inspired to take this forward in their preparation for campus, in their preparation of joining company, and in their preparation of thinking towards IT, and in any branch of engineering or graduation they are doing. I think Salesforce is going to make a big impact in coming future, and getting knowledge from people like you from industry, who are stakeholders of heading those verticals in company like Persistent, uh, is something great which students can get in this COVID times. I really thank you, sir, for spending time, accepting our invitation, and coming with this beautiful presentation. The amount of efforts you both have put in giving the best to students is phenomenal, sir. Especially Jay, sir, you have been like a teacher of the rock star of career Pathshala today. Chintak sir
right.
was also observing, and I was seeing Chintak sir totally engrossed in your session, and late probably Chintak also took something from you, and both of you mutually learn. And I hope you also had a great time, Jay and Chintak. Your final comments, and before we ask Shika for a vote of thanks, your final comments, Jay, and then we go to Chintak, sir.
Sure. So I thought I talked a lot, overshooting the time, but yeah, thank you so much, sir, for accommodating us. And it has been a real pleasure, addressing such a massive audience. So I really hope all the students have got a lot of takeaway from this, and wish you all the very best to all of you students. Keep doing well, keep shining, keep doing good. I mean, technology is just means to an end. That is what I would like to say on a parting note. It is not the end itself, and money is not everything. So do good for the community, and you'll be fine. You'll be happy. Thank you.
Likewise, I guess when Jay starts talking, we can see the natural instincts of being a teacher, and that's how we admire him a lot. But thank you, Anuj sir. Thank you, the whole Career Pathshala team, LNCT, Young Indians group, for providing such wonderful exposure. I'm pretty sure we have to, in this today's world, we have to squeeze multiple informations, and we have to talk a lot about the experiences. Hope out of the whole session that you could at least try to connect something which might be relevant to you and your career, whether it is in terms of technical, whether it is in terms of functional. I'm pretty sure every one of our made from different kind of temperament and nature. Everybody might have different kind of dreams. I wish you all the best to all the students who are currently watching as well as who are going to watch this particular video. Wish you very all the best, and wish you good luck in this particular times and the coming times ahead. Thank you.
And thank you for joining in. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you, sir. I think we lost Shikha on internet, and but thank you so much, sir. And we also appreciate the CII Young Indians who have given this opportunity. The student team who is working hand behind the Career Pathshala, designing the flyers and coming up. A lot of students from various colleges today. We had a good number of students coming from Jabalpur also watching the show. You can watch our show live on our YouTube channel Career Pathshala, on the Facebook channels of YI Bhopal, Youth Masters, and my own page also. And there are various channels as provided by the college and different placement departments. So thank you so much, sir, and we really appreciate your time, and we look forward for you coming back, and once we close our event for Career Pathshala, and also persistence presence into campus hiring we are expecting soon. And this is something phenomenal for students in this pandemic, that all the students in the persistent have got joinings, and they are bullish for 2021 campus hiring also. So guys, keep ready. Who knows, you are being soon being interviewed by Jay or Chintak in your final round. So probably
Absolutely.
now you cannot run away that you don't know much about Salesforce. So there's always a hidden agenda for students to know more about, like. And thank you so much, sir. It was a great Salesforce is quite a difficult topic, and when you come to Salesforce, it's very highly technical. And the way इतना simplified आपने इसको present किया, I don't think anyone could have done this better than both of you, sir. And for your time and for the support Persistent is giving to Career Pathshala, hats off, sir. And we thank you for this great opportunity, and looking forward to have you again back in our sessions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Anuj sir. Thank you.
Sir.